Welcome, Collective. This is an all signs reading for whoever is with me today in this moment. I have pulled out a couple of oracle cards. I'll be using a couple of tarot decks, and I'll finish off with an oracle card. So this is for all signs. For any, this is a message from Spirit, and I'm going to get started with the archetypes. The wild unknown archetype, the kiss. And I'm going to read a little bit about this card. It's pretty amazing that it speaks so clearly of love. And other names for this card are the touch, the chemistry, the sex. Before a first kiss, the air is electrified. Each breath is alive with possibility and magic. The archetypal energy of the kiss is a heightened sensation of merging with other, of letting in what was moments ago separate. Two become one. It is risky but beautiful business. These moments forever change us as we move past the solitary self toward union and acceptance. The card suggests true intimacy is around the corner, which requires bravery and surrender. When the kiss takes a non-human form, it may be experienced as touching the sacred, hearing a whisper, or being graced by a divine being. You can recognize the presence of the kiss by cold chills and an awakening of the heart. So this is talking about merging, which is certainly a highly romantic and romanticized aspect of human relationships. And it's one that we often focus our life's energies on, even unwittingly, perhaps more and more, with greater and greater consciousness as we mature. And that is coupled by the indecision card. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. This is occurring at a time when many of you that I'm reading for have come to something of a stalemate in terms of your relationships. You may have been in a significant number or in a number of significant relationships that turned out one way or another, but you were unable to sustain them. Even those that you were able to sustain did not develop in a way that felt good to you, or if that felt as though it addressed your needs, your desires, or perhaps it turned into something that was out of your control, that you felt was out of your control. So you are necessarily a bit gun shy right now. You're unsure. You don't want to repeat some of the pain and suffering you've experienced in the past. Perhaps neglect, rejection were parts of your intimate relationship experiences in there. Why would you want to go back to that experience? I was really calling in the full moon in Scorpio when I first began to pull cards and meditate on this reading. And this was specifically a response to this idea of revealing the whole self, which I believe in part the full moon in Scorpio on May 2nd is really asking of us to be authentic with who we are in our completeness. This is not about covering up the things that you don't want exposed or you don't want others to see. This is being who you are, warts and all, mistakes and all, because nothing less than that is able to manage, confront, engage the circumstances and the choices that we have moving forward as a global citizenry. And in some way, the possibility of love is being offered again as something real. And as has been stated, this can be a love of divine, love of the gift, love of the sacred touch, the gazing into the mystery, the abyss in rapture. So for your present, I pulled 3 cards. Whoa, the 5 of Swords, the Knight of, or the Warrior of Swords, and the Devil card. Well, the 3 of these cards tell a real clear story about the way that you think about a relationship that you were in. Perhaps this is the most significant relationship. Perhaps it is a relationship you're still in, but a way that you now think about that, or the influence that that relationship has had on you. It looks as though you have internalized a lot of the self-doubt that arose to you in this relationship. And because it's the devil and because they're roped together, I'm going to say it was something fairly traditional and lasted a fair amount of time. This was not like a year in, year out. And even if the relationship only lasted a brief period of time, the actual marriage existed for a significant amount of time. So there were many opportunities for you to see things in a variety of ways that surprised you. Perhaps you entered the relationship with a secure sense that this was the right choice for you. It feels as though it was somewhat out of body, somewhat of a head over heart decision to enter into this relationship because it was a good choice, a good match. And what you saw, what you experienced, really took you by surprise. Instead of being the beloved, the cherished one, I believe you experienced a lot of criticism and a glimpse into a partner that did not always have or rarely had your interest in mind, even if that was the language that was used. Because I'm thinking if this relationship was fairly traditional in whatever way that means to you, then this partner understood how they were supposed to be as opposed to perhaps how they were. Because it looks like they had their own ends and their own goals in mind. And you kind of got trampled in the process. Your needs were disregarded. Even if they initially spoke, a partner initially spoke of serving your needs, you were discarded like unwanted furniture is what I'm feeling from this. In the past, the Strength card shows that you persevered as an independent for a long time. And this can mean that you had relationships, but you never committed really to anything long term for good reason. At the time, you did not think about it in this way, but you were extremely capable, self-sustaining, self-contained. You were able to serve your own needs, stand on your own feet, and in that way, you weren't looking for a match. You were looking for a lover, a partner, a companion, and you may have found that along the way and enjoyed that. But you felt that you were on a larger mission. And so you did not feel distracted by heartbreaks that you encountered along the way. You kind of kept on moving. There was always someone new or something new to engage you on your journey. But this shows you had a power. To some degree, you were aware of it and were looking for the way best to express that. And in the future, the Page of Cups, the Servant of Cups, and the Seven of Cups. Wow. This opening up of your heart this determining that you are open to what might be out there. You don't have a fixed idea of what it is, truly. You definitely know what you don't want. You don't want what you've had before. And in that way, this is a little challenging because I believe that you are spontaneous to some degree, that you know what you like, that if you see someone or something that interests you, you are likely to imagine, fantasize even what that relationship could be. But you're more than, this doesn't feel to me like you're focusing on an individual. It feels like you're sort of scoping the field. Perhaps some of you are dating actively. Some of you have someone in mind, but you realize that that someone stands for a whole lifestyle, a whole way of life. And that individual really is more of a placeholder, someone who you once had a strong interaction with. Whether you had an actual relationship or not is not the issue. But you're also not distracted by the desire for love. For you, it is about deeper connection that empowers both of your work, your similar goals, your ability to move more strongly towards shared goals. And this is an empowerment to a new level, a new experience of life. This feels like a new lifestyle, one in which the purpose of your activities is to create as much space for creativity, for joy, for pleasure, for service. Oddly enough, that may not seem to all go together, but service is really what you're now understanding part of your mission is. It's not your whole mission. Your whole mission is to live your life with as much joy and happiness as possible, with as much responsibility to others, with as much charity as possible. But you're really understanding that the right partner can make your achievement of a certain experience, awareness, opportunity more available to you, something you can work at, be in together. I'm going to clarify this and hope that this reading is resonating with you so far. If so, please like this video, share it with others if you feel inclined to do so, and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. I'm going to clarify the past, the strength, the cactus card in this deck with 2 cards, and there's the 8 of Wands and the Queen of Wands, the Devil, the 5 of Swords, and the Knight of Swords is clarified with the Ace of Wands and the Strength card repeated again. Love it. And the future, the Servant of Cups and the 7 of Cups with the 10 of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups and the 9 of Cups. Quite lovely. Okay, so in the past, part of your strength was absolutely in your creativity, in your ability to connect, communicate, to express yourself. I'm speaking to someone who has an abundance of determination, of creativity, of knowing what they want now. I think that that has changed immensely in the last part of your life, where once you were comfortable being friendly, going out, enjoying relationships on a friendship basis. It's taken you a while to channel that interest, that exploratory vibe, that adventurous streak in you, that inspired momentum into one particular goal. one desire. And this desire feels again like more of a lifestyle rather than a single goal. This is to achieve something that allows you to express your particular gifts in the company of loved ones, within a community, one in which you are in constant communication with others. You are noticed, you are invited, you participate with a variety of groups that are moving toward an action, a specific action. And these actions are things that are intended to change things, to serve others, to be of assistance to a variety of people in other regions or communities than your own. So you're comfortable moving out into unfamiliar spaces. That's what you desire to do, more so than ever. You understand the desire to travel and to move in a new way. You understand its purposefulness in your life. In the presence, the Strength card and the Ace of Wands are clarifying the Devil and other cards. And this is really you bringing that powerful strength that has always been with you and which you may have lost or felt as though you lost some of that strength when you were in a long-term, rather traditional kind of commitment. You felt as though what you were always sure about got lost to you. And in relinquishing that, in the shock of how much of yourself you had given away while being dedicated and devoted to doing what was the right thing to do. And in some cases for you, you believed that meant staying in the relationship until you could find a way out. And that way out may have never come. But you are, however the relationship ended, and I'm feeling for those of you I'm speaking to, you are no longer in this relationship. But even if you are, there is a return of your core essence, your love, your mercy, your grace, your ability to heal, to tame the wild passions, to be in greater control of your greatest gifts, and to know that you can share them as you determine best. You're no longer restrained from helping others, only required to help your family or your partner, feeling locked away in the past from the things that were familiar to you or the environments that were familiar to you, and that coming back to you again. Your sense of inspiration, your spark of determination, creativity, and passion has returned to you. Now you apply it in a variety of ways because you understand that your goal is more holistic than simply a single solitary thing. So that whole passion is returning. And in the future, the Page of Cups and the Seven of Cups is clarified with more cups, I love it, and a pentacle. So the Ten of Pentacles came out first, and this is about legacy. This is about realizing how much you have achieved, how much you have been given, the tremendous amount of access information that you have that helps you generate abundance, and ways now that you are looking to help others to gain that same knowledge, wisdom, resources, or access so that they can generate their own abundance. This is a big part of your life mission of service in whatever way that you can translate this into your own circumstances. But you are about supporting the change that you've experienced in your life. This feels a little bit like rags to riches in some ways, but I don't think it's quite that dramatic. I think this is more about your attitude towards what you have rather than what you have. I think for so many of us, we believe we are living a modest and humble life, but compared to people in very many places, not just around the world, in our own region, we have access beyond belief. We have resources beyond belief, and you have come to recognize how rich your life is, no matter where you live, what your zip code is, how much money is in the bank, if any. You realize you're living amongst abundance. Your life has been rich. Your life is rich. And you want to make that available to others who are not aware of the opportunities that are all around. The Ace of Cups and the Nine of Cups is a beautiful way of giving more information about this heart opening that you're experiencing. So you're definitely seeing your heart open as more than about your relationships. It's about you, your relationship with yourself, but also your relationship with higher consciousness, with the spirit world, with your ancestry, with your cultural heritage. This is about love with a capital L in a way that infuses every aspect of your everyday life. The Nine of Cups shows that you have learned how to, you understand your process of well-being now. You have a process, you have a practice that ensures that you stay balanced, you stay true to yourself, you understand the difference between what supports you, what values you, and what does not. You choose that over what does not support you. You no longer stay in situations where you aren't valued. And something tells me that this was part of the experience of the commitment that you were in, a place where you were not valued ultimately, even if you were initially. So you have understood that that extends to every aspect of your social life. You surround yourself with things and people that support you, that love you, that mirror your values and your sense of wellness in the world. So this is beautiful determination that you understand what makes you happy, what works for you, and that does not get subsumed by the overwhelming amount of opportunities that you have, the amount of invitations, the amount of notice you may be getting, that you fundamentally understand that it is always your role, your job to choose what works best for you, to discriminate. I'm going to finish up this reading with a flower oracle and hope this has been helpful or insightful. I've pulled the Everlasting Daisy, and the key word is fortitude. How interesting. We have the two strength cards here on the table. So it reads, be brave and dig deep. Thank you so much for this beautiful reading. Until next time, namaste.